my name is Steven Domінік Ellері. I'm of Welsh background, but I live in London.
Blitz questions, opera or symphony?
That's a good question because the choice is actually bigger. If you think of ballet and also rock and jazz, I like all the different sorts of music. I like tribal music too, from Africa. I love symphonic music. I love opera too, but I like to change. I like to have variety. Okay. A bit of jazz, a bit of opera, a bit of rock, a bit of tribal, then a bit of symphony.
Mozart or Beethoven?
That depends on my mood. So the mood changes all the time. So, and of course, I don't like to play Mozart all the time. So I like a bit of Mozart and a bit of Beethoven. I like to change around.
Which musical piece best describes your life right now?
So my life is probably described by the music from The Lion King.
What is easier, conducting or explaining how to do it?
Conducting's easy, because the difficult thing to do is play. The conductor is we're just standing there waving our hands around. Whatever we do, they will play.
What is something you would never step on stage without?
I would never get on stage without my clothes.
Who would you be if you weren't a conductor?
If I was not a conductor, I would like to be a professional tennis player.
Classical music or jazz?
I like jazz and I like classical music. Same again, it depends on the mood. So I like lots of variation.
Coffee or tea?
Now that's a good question. The thing about tea is I can just drink tea all day. I love drinking tea all day. And I also love coffee. But I know that if I drink coffee all day, I go crazy.
Your favorite sound that isn't related to music?
I like the sound of cats meowing, because I have 8 cats. And sometimes I lie with them and I put my phone right next to there, and there you can hear them.
Main questions. Are there any musical pieces that are difficult for you to conduct due to personal experiences?
There's pieces I've conducted that went wrong in concert in the past. So when I'm conducting them, sometimes I remember that moment. For instance, one piece I conducted recently here was Elgar Enigma Variations. And I remember in Peru, I was conducting it, and I was conducting it from memory, so I didn't have the score. And it's lots of little movements. And one of them finished, and it finished nice, big sound, dramatically, and everything was good. And then I was thinking, oh my God, what's the next movement? And then I thought, hang on, the way to work that out is to remember which one I just finished. And then I couldn't even remember the one I finished. So I was standing there, and there was complete silence. The audience was sitting there. And then I thought, hang on, if I can't remember now, I will go off stage and I have to go and get the score and the book, and bring it back on stage. But then suddenly I noticed that the cellist was getting the cello ready and nobody else was getting ready. So then I realized, hang on, this is the cello solo now. So I knew where I was. The cellist saved me. So there are pieces in my life that have gone wrong in concerts. Yeah. And sometimes when I'm conducting them, I think back to that. And of course, sometimes there's some pieces that when you're looking for inspiration, you think of some situations, and that can be sometimes, emotional.
Have you ever adjusted your conducting to match the preferences of the orchestra, even if it went against your vision?
Sometimes I have to change the way I'm conducting, yes. This is true. When you're working with different orchestras, you get used to it, because some orchestras play at different times when you conduct. Some orchestras play after you conduct, but some of them play just in time, and some of them play before you conduct. Like if you conduct a children's orchestra, you haven't even conducted yet, but they're already playing, because they're like panicking and they're just playing. So you have to change it then.
Tell us about the personal characteristics of a conductor. Is a conductor more of a tyrant or a diplomat? How do you balance these roles?
Hopefully, I'm just me. Like I'm more diplomatic, hopefully.
If you had to describe your conducting style in 3 words, what would they be?
In 3 words, my style. entertaining, dramatic, and fun.
Do you have a favorite musical period or composer that you always return to?
It's not so much a favorite one, but I do always return to Baroque music when I'm in England, because when I'm organizing concerts, sometimes they're my productions, and so I take small groups of players, just a small group, not a big orchestra. So then the obvious music to play is Baroque music, because it's smaller groups.
What inspires you more in music? Its mathematics or its emotional depth?
Most inspiring is the emotional part. But when I'm studying the music, I use lots of mathematics to calculate where the emotional places are. So yes, and all the composers did before this, all the famous romantic composers and classical ones, they calculated that something like, like the golden triangle, the mathematics, around something like 0.7 of the first movement will be the climax. And that's usually the case in many pieces. So if you time it, like if it's 10 minutes, then the big place will be at 7th minute, and then it will go down. So the composers were using mathematics. So I use mathematics to work things out, yeah.
What is the funniest moment that has happened to you during a rehearsal or concert?
There's one funny situation I saw on YouTube, another conductor, not me. I think it's a Venezuelan conductor who conducts in Ukraine a lot. He was in Odessa for many years. Earl Hobart, I think. Hobart Earl, I think. I just saw a few days ago that he was conducting a rehearsal, and the cat walked on stage and walked up right up to where he was conducting and just stayed there. I saw that on Facebook just now. I was conducting a rehearsal in Germany because something went wrong in the night before, in the previous concert. Like there's a place where a girl needs to walk through the crowd of people on stage and suddenly appear. Like the music's going and then she's meant to appear. And I didn't realize that my wife had already arrived. And I was doing this place. And one of my friends, who's the singer, he said, let's do a joke on Steve. So I was conducting very seriously, and then I was going to show to this singer, yeah? And then she came through, and it was my wife. So they did a joke on me.